George Armitage polished a tarnished silver locket, the morning sunbeams turning dust motes in his antique shop into glittering constellations. Relics and Remembrance was his quiet haven, a world away from the thunder and fire of his past. Most days, the loudest sound was the ticking of the grandfather clock in the corner. That peace was shattered when two men, looking like ill-fitting crows in cheap suits, darkened his doorway. They didn't browse, they appraised, their eyes cold and dismissive of the shop's treasures. One, a burly man with knuckles like walnuts, finally swaggered to the counter. "Nice little place you got, old man," Walnut Knuckles grunted, leaning in. "Be a shame if something happened to it. The Blackwood Syndicate is looking to expand. We're making you a generous offer to vacate." George simply met his gaze, a flicker of something ancient and unyielding in his eyes. As they left, Knuckles accidentally swept a delicate porcelain shepherdess from a shelf. It shattered. "Clumsy," he sneered, without a backward glance. George watched them go, his calm exterior a thin veneer over a slowly awakening volcano. The next morning, a brick lay amidst the shattered glass of his front window. Crude graffiti marred his quaint sign. The message was clear. This wasn't an offer, it was a demand. George sighed, a sound like wind through old ruins. It was time to unpack a different kind of relic. In his small back room, George knelt before a battered army green footlocker. He clicked open the latches. Inside, nestled amongst faded manuals, were not dusty antiques, but meticulously maintained tools and an array of small, innocuous-looking cylindrical devices. Throughout that day, George moved with quiet purpose. A tiny device here, tucked beneath a display case. A thin wire there, almost invisible along a beam. His hands, usually gentle with fragile history, were now steady and precise with instruments of controlled chaos. Dusk settled. 5 figures, Knuckles among them, swaggered down the street. They were confident, ready to claim their prize. They hadn't counted on George's particular brand of redecorating. Knuckles aimed a heavy boot at the shop door. The instant his foot connected, a blinding magnesium flare erupted from the doorframe with a concussive whoomp, sending him sprawling backwards, yelping. Thick, disorienting smoke billowed out. Inside, it was pandemonium. Strings of powerful firecrackers, amplified by strategically placed tin cans, went off like machine guns. A harmless but impressive chemical reaction sent plumes of purple smoke from a grandfather clock. Shelves, rigged to collapse away from anyone, cascaded cheat bric-a-brac to the floor with terrifying clatter. The remaining thugs, choking and terrified, stumbled out of the shop, tripping over each other in their haste to escape the cacophony and the unnerving, unseen architect of their terror. George, a silhouette in the smoky doorway, watched them scatter like frightened rats. The next morning, sunlight streamed into the slightly singed but otherwise intact shop. George, a smile playing on his lips, sipped his tea. On the newly repaired door, a tiny, freshly polished brass plaque read, "G. Armitage, Collections and Deconstructions, by appointment only."